Well, it's name association time on Sportsden. We want to throw a few names out at you of players past and present and get your reactions to them. Marty, why don't you kick things off?
Wayne Gretzky. I guess we've got to start at Wayne Gretzky.
Oh, certainly will be maybe the star of all stars. It's been my misfortune most of my coaching career. I was in his division. I saw a lot of them. Only my first year as a coach in Winnipeg, we were in the Norris, but then when Colorado went to Jersey, of course, so all but 1 year, except this season, I've been in the Smythe division with my coaching, and of course I saw a lot of Wayne Gretzky. Fabulous hockey player, great goal scorer, even better playmaker, a gentleman. I've had association with him not only as an opposing coach. I was an assistant coach at 2 Canada Cups, which we won, 84 and 87, in which his performance was absolutely fabulous. And he's a pleasure to work with and a gentleman. Everything you see, everything the fan sees in Wayne Gretzky, what you see is what you get. There's not a phony bone in this man's body. And he is a hero and should be an idol. And I have nothing but praise for him. I think that, I actually think it's odd. In my coaching career, the best players that I've had something to do with are players who really like the game as well and practice hard. Like Wayne Gretzky in practice loves to practice and loves to play. I've never asked him this, but I think it's kind of his time away because he attracts so much attention. That's his time. That's where I do my thing, is on the ice. And the media can't get at him and fans can't get at him. And I think he revels in the fact that he's practicing and doing what he loves to do.
Well, let's continue in a related vein. We'll go from Wayne Gretzky to Tiger Williams.
Dave Williams is one of the most interesting players I've ever coached. He should be I'll tell you this, he should be a focus for all young players because Dave Williams made himself a hockey player. Dave Williams didn't have a lot of individual technique or skill, but Dave Williams spent, I think, 13 or 14 years in the National Hockey League through his own drive and determination. Personal fitness. Boy, he was a fit guy.
Yeah.
And made sure that he could come, and he worked every day in his skills to be better. And Dave Williams made himself a hockey player with limited ability, and I think that if a lot of and knew what his abilities were and what his role should be, and one of the most interesting players I've ever coached.
Any stories about Tiger out there when you're in Vancouver?
A lot of them really. Well, one I remember, I was when I first went to Vancouver, guys were in the habit of bringing their kids and dogs to some pregame skates, and I was the Grinch. I didn't want it, and Tiger backed me up. Tiger said, "Yeah, I don't want these dogs, kids. This is my office. This is where I work." So we kind of had a little meeting. The players agreed that wasn't the right thing, so we didn't have it. Well, then I came in one day, and Tiger has got his dog under the bench. And so I went over and I said, "What the hell's going on?" I said, I mean, hey, you were the guy. He said, "Tom, my dog does as it's told." and that was the end of it.
Tom, how about Lanny McDonald?
Well, Lanny McDonald is an ultimate professional. I only had Lanny at the end of his career. Kind of a storybook finish for Lanny.
It was.
500 goals, 500 assists. That was his aim during the season. And then he was coming to the end of his career, and here it was, the 6th game of the Stanley Cup final. And there was a problem, I remember, with the coaching staff as to who to dress. And the decision was made that Lanny would dress, and of course we win the game 4-2. Lanny got the 2nd goal, which for a long time in the game, the score was 2-1. It looked like it might end up being the winning goal, but I think that all hockey fans in Canada were happy for Lanny McDonald that he got a Stanley Cup ring.
Speaking of which, you have a Stanley Cup ring on your finger. I don't know if we can get a shot of that or not, but it's about the size of a small station wagon, loaded with jewels. Did you ever think when you were coaching U of T and great players such as myself at Seneca College that someday you would have a Stanley Cup ring on your finger?
Well, everybody hopes, but I mean, it's a lot of nice things have happened to me in hockey, and of course this is one of the nicest. But you know, I've also coached at 2 Canada Cups.
That's true.
Where we won, and of coached at 2 World Championships, 2 Olympic Games, had a Jack Adams Trophy. I mean, a lot of great things. There's been some downers too, lost your job and so on, but I guess one of the nicest things is, I think even more than the ring is actually seeing your name in the Stanley Cup. I think that was the biggest thrill for me.
Yeah. Okay.
Tom, was it always your ambition to eventually coach in the NHL when you went back?
No, never.
No?
This is very funny. It happened by accident. And I mean, if you talk to Roger Nielsen and Harry Neal, we were all the same. We were fellows that started out in teaching and coaching, and then kind of our teams did well, and you were asked to coach at another level. And I never in my wildest dreams, I was kind of a phys ed guy who coached the football team and the hockey team in his school, and then went on and did it at university. And even when I went to college hockey at the university, there were only 6 teams in the National League. I mean, Toe Blake always coached Montreal, Punch Imlach always coached Toronto, Billy Ray was always in Chicago. I mean, I thought I had the greatest coaching job in the world. I was the coach at the University of Toronto. Great program, good rink, good kids to work with. But then the league expanded, the WHA came, things happened, they were in need of coaches and so on, and opportunities came about for a fellow like Roger, or Harry, and myself. And just the hockey world changed. But no, I never, I knew I was going to coach in a school setting because I was a phys ed man, but I never thought that I'd be coaching professionally.
Well, you also mentioned that you might be bringing a player up from the Barrie area, Doug Shedden. That's possible. And,
well, Floyd Smith talked to me last evening after the match, and we talked about some players from Newmarket, and Joe Sacco has since been brought up, and there's a possibility that Doug Shedden and maybe another player will be brought into the lineup.
I mean, there's Marty, you...
Oh, Dougie, I know a lot of people in Bracebridge know Dougie Shedden from his Barrie days playing hockey there. And I know they're all worried about the 7 games he needs to get his pension, so it'll be good to see him up here.
Well, how would you define the role of a coach? What is...
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that's a good question, isn't it?
25 words or less, Tom.
Without saying the word system once.
Well, I guess, well, there's different types. If you're a hockey coach, I think we have to, first of all, you're a coordinator because it's a team activity. You have to coordinate the group. I think that I don't like the term counselor, but you have to work individually with people with their own skills and things that they bring. And I think you have to be a teacher. You have to teach skills and teach the group how to come about. You have to handle their physical conditioning. You have to handle their, I don't like the term motivation. You have to handle willingness to play, and gosh, that's a very big term. I'd have to think a long time about it. I'm not a, I hate that word motivation too. The only motivation that's worth a hoot is self-motivation, but certainly, but you know, I think the public think that you have some Newt Rockney magic that you're gonna, you know, change everything, and through a motivational talk that people are going to, that I think went out a little, and but certainly there are coachable moments. When things jump out, I think you have to recognize those. I remember one time when I was coaching Winnipeg, we were going from the airport hotel to the arena in Chicago. We hadn't been playing very well, and I remember the driver had on the radio, and the players kept chirping in the back about, and one guy wanted a rock and roll station, so one of the young fellows came up and changed rock and roll. Some other guy told him to get off that crap, and he wanted country and western. So the guy got up, and I remember the whole trip, all we heard were guys yapping about what was on the radio, and I was doing a slow burn up near the front of the bus, and I can just remember we got to the rink, and I asked the media to get off the bus, and I went after the players in the bus, just about their focus for the game and the attention that I felt that was being devoted to what was on the bus radio instead of preparing for the game. And I never said anything in the room before the game, and I remember we won the game easy. And I'm not saying that was the reason, but there's certain moments in coaching, I think, where you have to grab the right thing at the right time.
We're just about out of time. We've got to wrap it up. One quick question. If you could put any player in the NHL on your Christmas list and give it to Floyd Smith, other than Gretzky, who would it be?
Mary Lemieux.
Thank you. Tom, thanks very much for talking with us. We really appreciate you taking the time.
Tom Watt, the big man on Carlton Street right now. We'd like to thank him for dropping by and talking hockey with us. And also like to thank Tyler Franks, Queen of the Silver Screen, for her work behind the camera. And of course, Brian, the Stick Boy James, for doing his work over there in the production end. Thanks a lot, Tom.
Thanks
Appreciate
very much.
Thank you very much, Tom.